right between the two of us.
No, next to man in the dictionary is just a picture of Whiskey's face.
Of whiskey.
Yeah, it's me. All right. So,
yeah.
I think everybody, if we're ready to get back into this.
He's serious now.
I was born to be stupid. I mean, ready.
How dare... And we're going to cut.
Yep. Smash cut.
We're going to cut to you guys creaking open the door to their house. And the house has this sort of... Where the air outside is still cold, but doesn't have this wind to it. The house has this sort of eerie chill about it. Where the coldness here feels more still without the wind. Leaves only sort of a tired and still rawness to the air. The building itself is dark, with the windows long since being boarded up with heavy boards in the years that the house has been empty. And the boards only let these sort of chill cracks of light that provide just enough contrast to make the darkness seem even more so. The building itself, a little more than a shack, made up of 2 rooms. There's an entryway, has some cast iron pots, a rough stove and chimney, and there's a room for resting, which has a shrine where your mother's remains lie. You currently stand in the entry room with its cooking utensils hung from hooks on a shelf and a thick fur carpet laying across the floor. And you guys walk into the room.
Is the house... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we get in the house and close the door behind us, I just turn around and notice that there are still singe marks around the handle from the inside of the door.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of it happened by accident when I didn't quite know what was happening with me, and just realizing that the marks are still there.
Mm-hmm. And around the house, there are various marks of a similar sort of ilk, where just things that remind you of specific moments from your childhood. Like there's a dent in the pot where Ref thought he could help with some of the cooking and tried to carry a pot that was full of broth and just dropped it due to his sort of like weaker physique as a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just various things that you look around sort of bring some warm, some colder memories to your hearts. And Ref, you start making your way through and go into the back room. You notice that this room, the sort of bed that lays across the floor and the cupboard seem untouched. They have a layer of dust across them. But what surprises you is where your mother's remains lie, the sort of cast urn given to you by the temple. Atop it, the candles seem new, and dust is absent from this shrine. The room has this smell of smoke to it, as if the candles have been recently lit, and the shrine's sort of warmth still emanates very slightly. There's a small wooden plate atop the center of the shrine with a small slice of bread as an offering.
I'll give the candles once over. Just kind of do a double take. Like, how are these new? And Jarren. Jarren.
Yeah, I come and I follow behind.
What do you think's been replacing the candles?
I would assume someone has been coming to visit our mother's shrine.
Might be father. And I just kind of stop myself. Yeah, I stop myself because you would know this, that basically I just call the Sleep Watcher who basically, watched over our mother and us, father.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might be. And then, I'm just kind of staring at the shrine. You were with her when she passed, weren't you?
I wasn't. here, but I knew it was happening. I was in town, just chaos, but it wasn't. It was, so much death. The smell. Yeah. I saw her, I think, maybe a week, 2, before she passed. I was doing errands for the...
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of bow my head slightly. In sorrow.
Yeah. You guys hear the creak of the front door. And the sound of footsteps, which
And
seem
my
to just
head
stop
whips back.
a moment afterwards.
Turn around.
Yeah. And you guys see a very old-looking, full white beard, again unbraided, just loose, which is sort of the main style around Thetch, because there's no sort of need for any sort of like status symbols amongst the dwarves around here. This very important-looking dwarf with this sort of fur topping to his long black cloak that marks his importance as the townmaster. And he opens the door and just stops as he sees you. He's like, "Oh, well, ain't it been a long time since I've seen you two boys?" Like, pulls a hat off, revealing a mostly bald head.
Was it you who lit those candles? Or was it the warden?
It was the warden, but I come by to pay my respects. The food's mine. So looks over sadly at the plate.
We appreciate that. We do.
You couldn't spare more. Being townmaster and all.
Just kind of put a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Ref seems to be getting slightly more emotional than he
head
would usually.
His head sort of slightly bows in sort of almost like shame or sort of acceptance that he sort of has some sort of inkling that you're right.
We were told you wanted to speak with us once we were back in town. Solvig mentioned you had come by, asking after us.
My honor as a man never forgave my weakness in those years. I never got to pass on my sorrow and regret for what happened to your mother with the plague, and I've already apologized to Ref, but Jarren, I'm sincerely sorry. It was partially my arrogance for not stocking the grain.
Part of Ref probably notices this, but Jarren is trying to hide it, but he's starting to get emotional as well.
Words mean nothing.
Not
Get the answers we need.
I would have given everything to be here. But I wasn't. I can't blame you for anything, because I couldn't see it, but... Thank you for what you're doing now, regardless of what you did in the past.
He pulls a small parcel wrapped in just like a piece of leather and extends it out sort of towards you.
Yeah, I reach out and take it.
Yeah, it has the consistency as you grab it of just some item of cooked meat that you assume is he was bringing as sort of an offering.
I just, yeah.
Let you handle that, but I'm glad to see you boys back. If there's anything I can do for you, anything within my power, as long as you stay on the right side of the law.
And his eyes sort of look at you, Jarren. No, I mean Jarren.
Oh,
Because remember, he was the one who got
Yes.
arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I appreciate that.
Boys, to our crest of the lake, anyhow.
I kind of just recomposing myself.
Yeah, he's sort of like awkwardly like this is a very blunt attempt to like drag the conversation in another direction away
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah. You as Jarren is responding, he is walking over to the shrine with the piece of meat he was given, and he puts it on, and you see him just for a brief moment. You see fire kind of shimmering around his palm as he sears it, so that the aroma starts to fill the room.
Mm-hmm. And the candles, which seem to almost respond to this, start to the two closest to the, because there are 4 candles sort of in the corners, and then right by where you would place an offering on the plate. The 2 candles by your hand just seem to, on their own, spark to life.
And I turn back around. Aside from speaking to old friends and seeing the place we grew up, I got Ref to come back here with me. I still don't have full control over everything, and I heard there might be something in the area that could help me control these things that I can do.
Right. There have been a fair amount of... There's been a decent supply of oddness in the town of late. Brings me back to older times. I'd go see the girl, I say, and... something feels off about what happened with the missing girl. No one who's grown up here for nigh on a decade would walk out into the snow.
No, there's suicide.
Something feels off. Her father, the priest got him convinced that it was him not being dedicated to her mother's shrine. The sister took her, but
The sister is one of the 2 gods of the world, of this country.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just so that, just to clarify, because I
Context.
realized that me saying that could have made you think that her sister took her out.
That's the assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so either of those are the weirdest things recently. And then there's always the assault of the elements, but it seems winter's hit us early.
It's true. We didn't expect the storm on our way in.
He nods.
Ref,
Something's off.
that thing you saw, you mind describing it again?
I might
Thing?
in a second. Your guards will give you the report later, I'm sure. But first I want to
Aye.
ask you, Battle. Who is this girl to you? Why do you care if she lives or dies?
Just kind of step back.
She's a citizen of my town. I have a right, one that I'm trying to make good on, by my honor, to fix the mistakes that I've made in the past. I suppose it could be selfish, but I think if I can save just one life, it might make up for some of those that I've lost.
I'd like to see if I believe he's genuine in
Okay.
that want. So I'll roll insight.
Yeah, roll me an insight.
12.
Okay. You think he's being pretty genuine? His head, though it is difficult to tell because his head is bowed and he doesn't seem to be making too much eye contact with you other than the like occasional glance up.
He just sounds like he's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
It's not like he's looking away from side to side, but he's like looking down at his own feet.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Almost in reverence, perhaps, of, the shrine. Well, battle. Maybe that is what you want. But people change. Could be for the better, could be for the worse. But as it is, I don't know what to think yet. We saw outside your walls a massive creature, likes of which could probably destroy any trade caravan it wanted. I imagine that might be affecting you, your town. Any travelers not made it, supposed to?
Not any more than usual. This beast.
What of it?
You said it could destroy a trade caravan.
It was like a blackfish on feet.
He raises an eyebrow, and I'm gonna roll something.
Yeah.
Could I also see if I want to see if I have heard anything of like a magical beast that's like an amalgamation of these things?
Okay, roll me a nature. Nice. I don't think that you have, unfortunately.
Okay.
The DC is very high.
It's far south. Right. If something is driving one of them this far south, that's not good news for anyone. I appreciate it. An acklet. Beasts that walk on legs. Fur of a wolf. Size and maw of a blackfish. They roam in the north more than anything else. Far more north than any man. My ma used to tell me stories of them eating young dwarves when I was a kid. When I was a man, I had the misfortune of they tend to be solitary, but they come in familial packs. So sometimes 2 or 3 will make their way into a town. I'd imagine if it was 2 or 3 who chased you, you wouldn't have made it here.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm just going to post how it's spelled for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Because I heard you type in, so I figured you were Googling.
No, I'm writing notes on my sheet.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
Cool.
Yeah. Blam. Thank you.
In any case, I think for all of our sake, we should try and organize something. Get somebody to keep an eye out for it. If it's an adult, we could try and organize something, but it'll be a hard fight. How long are you boys planning on staying in town?
I looked at Jarren.
As I said, we came here looking for an artifact of sorts, whatever it might be. After that, who knows?
Well, if you're in town after we find it, hopefully the stout tails can get their eyes on it and get back. I'll get them on it. If we get any news, I could pay you boys to help if you're up for it. You look like you've put a bit of meat on your arms since I've last seen you both.
Let us know whenever you find something.
No.
Aye.
No. Yeah, I just raised my voice slightly. Just this small person just kind of taking over the room.
And he like looks up at you.
That's not good enough. We don't answer to no one. These stout tails. Who are they? Are those the dwarves we heard about? They're ranging.
Brothers. One of them ranges while the other chops trees for lumber. They're new, but good for the economy. Seem to be able to get more wood in winter than we have in years.
And you don't think they're just going to take this piece and run as soon as they find it?
I think it's possible. But they seem like good men.
So do you.
I'm not sure I could say the same for either of you or myself. But people change. I'm hoping you boys have. And I'm hoping that I will.
Where do they make rest?
When they're in town, they've got their own house. You'll recognize it. Built out of lumber, but only 3 feet off the ground. Steps going down into it.
Down.
Dug a hole. Living like halflings.
Smart. Oh shit.
What?
Putting our trust in a couple of new bloods.
Let's at least...
Afraid if you're gonna approach the town with that mentality, you'll have a hard time. With the plague and the food shortages, a lot of the old bloods have either died off or fled. Not many of us around.
Let's at least meet them before deciding what they are.
You've grown wiser.
You're lucky I have my brother here, Battle. Otherwise this conversation might have gone quite a bit differently.
I think I deserve however it ran. So I'm glad it went this way. Thank you, boys. And like I said, if there's anything within my power I can do to help you in what you're trying to do. And I'll keep an eye out for anything that seems a bit off. Let me know.
Well,
Sure.
Starts pulling his
Yeah.
cloak a bit more around him.
I pivot on one foot and just quickly go to the door, and as I get to it, not necessarily waiting for you, Jarren, but you know I won't be far. Sure, well, I know what I'd ask for first, but you can't give it. I get to the door, I open it, about to leave, just turn my head slightly. I want my mother back. I just slam the door behind me.
Battle.
You don't. It's fine.
No, I need to say this. My brother is emotional. Yes. And he makes some decisions I wouldn't necessarily approve of, but he has an intelligence about him.
Chirp his face. Sorry, continue.
No. Oh, don't get me wrong, he's an idiot. But there's something to be said for the honesty that he has and the impulses he acts on. One of which being his attachment to our mother. Be very careful when you speak with him. It doesn't take a lot to anger him. And from what it sounds like, you could have done more during that time. I don't know. I don't know what our relationship is going to be for as long as we're here. But you're right. People do change. But don't think it's black and white. And then I go to leave.
Aye. And you head out, and as we get the shot of you heading through the door, and then the door slowly swinging shut on a dwarf sort of in the darkness, just with strings of light coming through the window and the open door, just him looking down as the door slowly swings shut, as you sort of like rush to catch up with Ref, who's heading off in the snow.
Mm-hmm. Kind of trudging. Don't really turn my head to look at you when you come up. But I'm heading, I would say, in a direction where you kind of know I have headed in many times before under less than, let's say, legal pretenses.
Sure.
Scrupulous circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah. Once we round a turn or just get to a distinctive different part of town, I just kind of put a hand on your shoulder to stop the progress for a bit. Just kind of turn you around to look at me.
Yeah, I turn my head. I don't turn my body.
I don't think he deserved everything we said to him. But seems a lot has changed.
Maybe.
But I don't think we can blame him for everything.
You weren't there. You didn't see what I saw. I may not have been with her, but I saw others. The poor. The weak. They were eaten alive. Some of them literally by this damn plague. Plague didn't eat them. Their own damn friends did. Didn't have naught to eat. That man's a damned coward. I can't believe you'd forgive him like that, but you're my brother. And I'll give you... whatever... What's... trying to remember something. I trust you. And that's not going to change.
And I trust you. Now, I take it you're going to see your old friends?
Aye. And you won't have to leave me like you always had to. This time will be different, I imagine. Bit different.
No, I've served more time than most of them. Let's go.
It's because most of them... Anyway, yeah, I stop myself, and we continue. And I'm imagining, I don't know if you had something in mind, Whiskey, but there being like this really old well that's kind of situated in between a bunch of buildings as a sort of meeting place.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's sort of like near the edges of one of the town. Like it's sort of like maybe one line of houses away from the wooden wall that sort of circulates around near sort of the western side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys head towards this place.
Yep.
I would like you, Ref, to roll me a d20. You want to get above a 5.
Okay. Bad feeling about this. 19.
Hey.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. As you guys come round, you see there is one person who is leant up against the well, using it just sort of like to prop his back up. His head seems to be lulled. Doesn't seem to be paying too much attention to anything right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that.
Yeah, I see him, and as soon as I see him, something clicks in my head, and I'm like, I don't remember the signal word. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, probably would have changed by now anyway. So I just start walking up. Hey, you. I'm gonna get up to him and just, like, grab his collar, like, hey, even though I'm probably a good, like, at least half a foot shorter than this man, if he is average height.
Yeah, you grab him, and this man is clearly very drunk.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Have you got any drink?
Something clicks
the
in my
man.
head. Yeah. Something clicks in my head. Matter of fact. And I will pick up a, yeah, fuck it. I'll pick up my water skin, like, I do not. But, can I have something brought here? If you, well. And I just wait, sort of expectantly.
Well, if you're looking for direction, then...
So, like, peels his eyes a bit and blinks at you. His head sort of, like, looks towards the water skin and back at you.
Are you... Ref? Is that... Why have you brought him here? As I live and breathe.
Things have changed. Though, sure, I don't need to say that.
What are you... What are you doing back here?
Mikhail, just take the water skin and drink some, eh? Hold it out to him.
Yeah, like, grabs it.
Right.
Sort of, like, looks up and down.
If you haven't changed, I know you'll be needing that after all.
Like,
you've done
paws a
already.
bit over his head.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
And he's going to try and, like, slap you across the face.
He's gonna try to slap me across the face. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Hit
me with your best shot.
He's very drunk, so I'm going to do it with disadvantage.
All right.
All right, 12. Will that hit?
Oh no.
Yeah. So he just, like, swings and misses and sort of, like, stumbles a few feet forwards.
Yeah.
That's what you get, Ref, for interrupting my old kip. Now,
What are we doing here, Ref?
what do you need me for?
Hold on. This is a part of them. Mikhail, I need you to bring me to him. Long as he hasn't changed.
We've all changed, Ref.
Talking about
Most of us have died of dysentery, shot ourselves to death.
Mikhail.
Some of us remain. But you want to speak to Ramel. I could show you where he lives now.
I'd appreciate that. This is my brother. He's alright.
I thought I was seeing double.
Just looked at Jarren, looked at Mikhail. Shake my head.
I'll show you to Ramel's place. He doesn't live too far. Doing good for himself. Just me and him in town now. Haven't seen him for a while.
So, like, scratches at his sort of chin neck area.
Wait. Just you and him?
The old band's gone, Ref. Those who didn't die. Gone to Totafan, where real money can be made.
Damn.
He shrugs.
Lisa still Ramel.
He
And
nods.
you, I guess. Peace.
I'll be able to help you, but not on Tuesdays. Come with me.
What day is it, Jarren?
It's Thursday, Ref.
Then
Looks
we'll be
like we're in
fine for
business.
like 7 more days. Come on.
Actually, it's more like 5 or 4, depending on your perspective, but sure.
You're wasting your breath, brother. Come along.
Yeah, he,
Follow
like,
the
stumbles
drunk.
into a wall. He does that drunk thing where you sort of, like,
Yeah.
have to play pinball off of walls.
Yep.
like bounce from wall to wall as you walk.
Boarding yourself.
I never was a huge fan of your friends, Ref.
They're not my friends.
He was never this bad of a drunk
Yeah.
when you know him.
Something's changed, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
They were never my friends. Just people I'd kill for and would kill for me. You know.
Yeah.
It's like in his head, that is not an association that should be made, I guess. Yeah, so we follow him.
Yeah. You eventually, after a little way of walking for maybe a few minutes, a couple times of like helping Mikhail back onto his feet, maybe once or twice of reminding him exactly where he's going, Mikhail eventually reaches a building and sort of like slumps up against the door with a sort of thud of his shoulder hitting into it, and then like knocks a lazy hand against it.
Ramo! Ramo!
And you start hearing the sound of hurried footsteps. And the door swings open, sending Mikhail tumbling a couple footsteps in, but he catches his balance.
Yeah.
All right, Mikhail. How many times have I had to tell you? Please, don't... As I live and breathe.
Afternoon, Ramel. How you been?
Come on in. Catch up over drinks.
Like drinks.
Yeah.
I start walking in.
Mikhail like looks up. He's like,
Does somebody say drinks? Because I could definitely... Get out of my house, Mikhail.
and Mikhail sort of like slumps out of the building as you walk in. Ref. Ramel's just holding the door.
Yeah, and as I come in, there's probably about 10 seconds where I'm just like cleaning myself off, and you're just kind of standing there, Jarren. Like, what am I doing here? Who is this man? Oh, Ramel. Probably seen him around, but it's my brother, Jarren. Took some time.
Illustrious. Aye.
You just see, like, what little, like, of the tusks that we have, I just grimace just ever so slightly when he says that.
Still. Any brother of Ref's a brother of mine. And hearing what you did for him. Family's good.
Wouldn't have had to do it if you didn't tell him to take that job.
Not his fault, Jarren. Our jobs were to make money. We were making it. Didn't turn out right. That's all.
I didn't come here to fight him. Go ahead and ask you questions.
If you didn't come in and fight, then you came here to ask questions. Drink's good for that.
Aye.
Drink's good for fighting. Let's have some drinks.
Just starts making his way into one of the other rooms to his house.
Yeah. Glad to see he hasn't changed much. Ramo was the old rock of the band. Yeah, I'll come in. And,
Yeah, just a common reaction whenever you talk about the old crew. Like, ever since I
Yeah.
got back, it's just like, you know, something doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, of course. Because it's even though it's specifically my fault, it's technically their fault that you spent the time you did.
You would know that I attribute all the blame to them.
Yeah.
As you guys move into
Yep.
the side room, you see there is a bearskin carpet on the floor, and a couple of a few chairs actually. Some of them actually upholstered, showing that Ramel has done quite well for himself, either through illegal or legal means.
Yeah.
Despite the town's sort of lack of general wealth to it. But specifically, Ref, you have 13 passive perception.
Yeah.
You notice that hiding behind one of the chairs, just like poking its head out, is like a small girl. Couldn't be older than maybe 4.
Now, Ramel, please tell me you ain't been getting into none of that shit they've been doing down south. and just kind of nod over to the girl. She's yours,
What are you-
I hope.
Yeah, mother died. Not technically mine, but looking after her. Go on, get.
And the girl just sort of like runs out of the room.
I'm not doing anything inappropriate. Just feeding her, clothing her, give her a place to stay.
I thought as
Keeping
much.
Keeping an eye on her so she doesn't go missing like the other girl.
Already heard about that. Suppose it is talk of the town. Well, you said you had questions, and I've got drinks.
Leans down under the table and pulls up two what look to be wine bottles and plop them on the table.
You'll have
Bottles
to
or
forgive.
mugs? Sorry.
Bottles.
Okay, cool. All
You'll
right.
have to forgive my simple glasses. I assume you boys have actually been traveling to more civilized parts of the world.
And he just puts like these normal sort of not glasses, he would say cups. These normal sort of like wooden just cups that are stained at the bottom with wine stains.
Well, you'd be wrong in assuming so, but thoughts appreciated. Yeah, I just immediately chug the first glass.
I wouldn't advise chugging it. Sipping's nicer for that stuff.
I stopped like
Ah.
halfway through.
Good to see you haven't changed, Ref.
Seems to be the theme for today. Who's changed and who hasn't?
Aye.
Well, to the point then. It's my brother, so thoughtfully mentioned. The girl. You didn't have nothing to do with that, did you?
He has a moment of like offense that washes over his face.
Yeah, like, I ask in such a
Before
way.
shrugging,
Yeah.
before shrugging to be like, "No, that's fair enough."
Yeah, yeah.
No. Funny thing. Don't have the band together anymore, but still got a couple of birds about on the street. Nobody saw nothing. Girl gone in the dead of night. Nobody sees a thing. Doesn't say a word to her family. Sends a chill through my bone.
And that's all.
You,
Even if I were to pull something like that, Ref knows I'd at least make an alibi. Some
Funny.
reason why she'd go.
Funny, I guess it's old habit. I wasn't accusing you of anything. But that's really all you know.
It's not like Ranald to make up fantasies like this. Girls
I'm
don't
not.
just disappear.
I'm not saying he's lying. Just making sure that's all.
That's all I know about the girl.
These
Her father's been sick for a while. Her brother's gone a bit nutty. The girl could have ran off, but I doubt it. Something got into her. And not
When you-
just the regular fever or plague. Something odd. Drive a girl out of town like that.
Her brother. He started acting odd as soon as she disappeared.
He's been odd for a while, but
Hmm.
his way of reacting hit me as strange. Seems to think she'll come back. Sure of it. Not sure why.
Anyone spoken to him?
Me. Went to go see him. They have the farm north of here. Just buying some food, making some idle chatter.
Right. Well, if we're looking into the girl, I should probably speak with him. If he's so damn sure about her return. Maybe there's more to him than we think.
Is there anything else you boys need from me? Been keeping an eye and ear on things, even if don't really have any reason to. As you said, quite astutely, old habits.
Girl name.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ref.
Do your birds, just trying to remember something. Your birds squawk or they crow? Just the tiny amount of thieves' cant that Ref might have picked up in his head. Squawk means like they might not be trustworthy. Crow means they are.
I've got one who's a crow and one who's a squawk. It's tough though, because even if I trust one of them, well, they're an interesting one. Mikael's daughter. I can't explain it. She sees more than anyone else, but isn't very good at talking on it. Do you want to find more out about that? I'd go down to, let me find the name of the place. I'd go down to Fettelhalf,
which you guys know is basically the healing place.
Been there for 6 years. Never seen nothing a cleric couldn't heal in that space of time.
Well, good to know at least. Your sources are still the best. At least, that's what we can get. There's a couple other things, won't waste much more of your time, but...
I've got nothing on.
Well, we came here for, ultimately, looking for magical item, an artefact, my brother calls them. We came here under pretense there was one in the surroundings that had been, well, talked of. You know anything about that?
Something Vandervite sisters might know more about. At the Solvin and Slurry. New place, new folk. Most people don't trust them, but they're awfully chatty for those all. Give them the time of day.
Understood.
It's an alchemist, so they make their business knowing about magical things. If anyone in the town knows about it, it's probably them.
Right.
Thank you.
You don't have to thank me.
Yeah, I just kind of tentatively put a hand on my pouch with my money. We still do free exchange within the band. Guess there's not much of a band left, but...
Like I said, don't run any of that business anymore.
Well, seem to be doing pretty well for yourself regardless. Take the hand off.
He nods.
People do well round here as long as they don't get pissed drunk and waste all their time not looking after their daughter.
Simultaneously, me and my brother. Piss off. Yeah. Question for you, Ruben. Was it the Storm Tails or the Ranger and the Woodcutter?
They are the...
Already down this time.
Yeah. It is the Stout Ales.
Thank you. Stout Ales. Got it.
Spelt like that.
Thank you. Okay. One last thing, I think, unless my brother's got something else. What you make of these stout ales, the dwarf brothers?
Not much. They don't talk a lot. Seem to keep to themselves. Probably mares. But they bring good lumber. I ship it south. Do business, but they keep it to just that. Can't get a peep out of them. Seem decent folk. Just focused on surviving.
I know the type.
What of this girl, Ahashi, the one looking into the mines?
That one. She's a new one. Definitely the talk of the town. Naive, strikes me.
Seems to be all he says on it.
And what do you think of the rumors surrounding the mine?
I think it's horseshit. Bunch of miners die and their families want to make up some excuse for it. If she wants to revive the mine, go ahead. I'll handle the trade when she's back.
Fair.
If you want to know a bit more about that, without going to the girl directly, because she can be a bit much. Trustworthy one in BR, if you remember him. Goliath, in the town. He's been looking after Asmund lately, if you met him.
Have.
Guard with the fucked face. Girl and him have been talking. She's been trying to hire him. So I'm assuming he knows a fair bit.
Sure.
He'll be easier to track down at least. He'll be in his house. Girl's probably off measuring out the distance from here to the mine.
Smart.
Maybe reckless. Well, regardless. Jarren, you have anything more?
No.
Well.
Barely touched the wine. That's fine. I'll finish it.
Like, just slides, like, puts his finger on the edge of the cup and just slides it over towards him.
Yep. Well, if that'll be all, Ref.
Yeah, I nod my head a couple times looking at the table. I'll have to come back sometime, Ramo. We can take a few to catch up. Me and my brother are rather pressed these days. Finding work's not as easy as it used to be. At least, you know, the work that we did.
I get that. And you take care of him.
Looks over at you, Jarren.
I know I haven't much of a right to ask you for anything, but him and Makar's it's all that's left around here. The others ain't even come to visit, so if you need a drink, feel free to come back.
Well, I don't know about Mikhail, but I always take care of my brother.
He nods.
Yeah, and I just go to leave.
Okay.
I follow
Leaving as
after,
well?
kind of making again just like the one hand sign in Thieves' Cant that I actually know to Ramel, basically like over and out, effectively.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes a similar hand sign back at you. And you guys both head out.
Yep.
And that is where we're going to take our next break, everybody.
Cool.
Nice. We interrogating everybody up in this bitch.
I mean, you guys are getting information.
Yeah.
I like it because the town master, it was like, Ref was upset with him, and Jarren was the one who was like, "Whoa, buddy, you gotta put the brake." And now it's like
was turned.
Jarren's upset, and Ref's like, "Whoa, buddy."
Yeah, it's so cool.
Which is very cool.
Yeah. This is
No,
really awesome.
collectively we hate